welcome to another jungle tutorial. My name is Virkayu, and in this video we are looking at how you can grab yourself a strong early game lead and transition that to a very strong mid game and late game. We're looking at two different games, one where I had to play a more counter ganking reaction style, and the other where I was more aggressive and intelligent with my pathing and moves in order to capitalize on the enemy's positions. It's important that you're able to adapt to the game if you want to be strong early on. You also need a champion that can do a fair amount of damage and is good in a 1v1. So for these games we're using Rek'sai, and they will be from her perspective, but the principles do carry over to all playstyles. And don't worry, if you're playing a tank jungler, you can still do these things with a tank jungler just as long as you're stronger than the enemy. At the same time, if you have a bad starter, the enemy is far ahead in every respect, you can still get ahead early, and in the second game I will show you how to do that, so we cover both bases here. So we clear our first three camps in this first game and we look for a gank top. It's pushing, we look mid, it's also pushing. So what do we do in this situation? We clear Scuttle Crab for that added vision, and now we go look for the enemy jungler. I'm doing this because his bot lane was late to lane, which means I know he got a leash at blue and he didn't start at Raptors. So why can I walk into his jungle now? Because my lanes are pushing and I'll have backup if I need to retreat or if they need to rotate to help secure the kill. Thankfully I don't need any help this time around, and I solo kill the Nocturne at level 3. A really nice start for me. I burn his flash as well. I'm not going to myself tower dive him because the red buff ticks away and kills him. I immediately then look to gank top lane right after, but it's Akali, so it's a hard lane to do so because of a camo. Garen gets a little bit lucky after he goes back in after the gank, even though I pinged we should leave. I communicate to him that I'm going to do my blue and my gromp while he goes back, and that we can kill her afterwards if she's still greedily pushing. And in a lot of elos you will see this. A laner will be very greedy at pushing out the lane to deny CS, but it takes them so long that by the time they get to the enemy tower, your laner's back, so it's a free gank. And this is exactly what we do. I leave him the kill with the idea that the lane will now be his to win. It's worth noting that Garen destroys a 1v1 for the rest of the laning phase, and so giving my laner the kill there was a really good idea, and he was able to snowball that nicely. After that top lane gank, I clear my Raptors and I go for a gank on mid lane. Rek'sai is one of those champs who can have creative angles of attack when ganking, so make sure you vary your approaches and surprise the enemy laner. Also, after I burn Malzahar's flash, I stay on him and force out the panicked barrier. Both sums are gone, and I'll exploit that again shortly. Don't burn summoner spells and then disappear and forget about it. Ganking is like planting a tree. You need to keep coming back and watering it so that it can thrive. If you leave the tree alone, yes, it might flourish and grow and it doesn't need you, but it also might, crumple and die. So, nurture your laners and help them grow. That was weird. I now make my way bot lane and I manage to burn Jinx's flash. That's great. Now back off. You want to get fed early game? Don't do this. Don't get super greedy and think you can kill her and then forget, oh wait, she has heal, I'm tanking an entire minion wave, Bard can Q and auto me, and Bard really hurts early game, especially if he's got AP glyphs and quints and things like that. So if you burn a summoner spell while ganking, take the win and return for the kill later. Shortly after my death, I'm heading towards bot lane again with Victor, and we know we haven't seen the Nocturne for a while, and he's been farming. He's probably level 6. And we hear Nocturne ult thinking he's got a free dive at bot lane, but Victor and I are both there. I counter gank him and make sure he dies without being able to get out, and I leave the Jinx kill to my Victor. Good instincts and reactions are needed if you want to get fed early, and as well to feed your laners. So pay close attention to the pressure you can apply, what summoners are being burned, and where the enemy jungler can be. If you kill them early, most of the time, they will be like butterflies in reverse. They will go back into their cocoon, become caterpillars, and you won't see them for a while. You need to make sure that while that's happening, you are actually controlling the map. And now I need to use my early skirmishing power and begin to try get objectives and further get my laners ahead. So moving along, after doing my red buff, I move to the top side again, and I tunnel under the enemy Raptors camp and burn Malzahar's flash for free. Really easy. Soon after this, I'm doing my Raptors and they think I've disappeared, and Nocturne tries to ult mid lane to secure a kill. Unfortunately for him, I anticipated this and I react quickly. Victor uses his heal, and even though my flash knockup doesn't go through, I use my ult and secure the kill. Without flash, Malz had to be a bit more safe during the fight than he otherwise could have. I'm using my lead very confidently, aggressively, as I'm stronger than Nocturne and I know we can win 2v2s, and I can keep the pressure on him by warding his jungle and taking different ganking paths so that he doesn't really know where I am. And if I keep burning summoner spells through these little ganks of mid and bot and top, you know it's going to be really nice when you do have a 2v2 and they don't have those summoners up to react and use in those 2v2s. It gives you an inherent advantage. After that nice little counter gank mid, Victor and I scan the bush in mid and we wait for Garen to roam down. We've just finished the dragon and they probably think we've gone back to spend some gold. Malz has no flash, it's an easy gank, and we secure 2 towers. If you are ahead, especially as Rek'sai, use your pushing power whenever you can. We've had a ton of pressure on mid this game, and finally we're able to use it to give the whole team gold. Akali is far behind, and bot is neutral. Not can't gank without proper vision of me, as I've counter ganked him twice now and solo killed him, so he's not having the best time with me. Naturally, with all the mid towers down and Drake off the map, the next objective is to focus the Rift Herald. And because of how strong I am and the fact that we've helped win top and mid lane quite actively, the enemy tries to collapse on the bottom lane. Now we have to use this to our advantage. I shove hard and get an inhibitor tower with the Rift Herald and Garen's assistance. I did use it a bit late and I die, but it's a worthy trade as we force the enemy to back while getting a crucial inhibitor tower ourselves. At this point, you're kind of in the mid game and you forced it there. The focus on taking towers, gaining vision and roaming with your team is paramount to you winning the game from being so fed. We foolishly have a fight by the Baron, and I'm unlucky to only get 1 kill instead of 2, but my sheer presence demands the enemy deal with me, along with Garen and Victor. All 3 of us are quite far ahead. This in turn releases the pressure on my ADC, who can gain a tower herself, as well as get a bit more farm than she otherwise could have. We have one more fight in the mid lane where I'm now focused on peeling for Tristana. We clean up some kills, and finally we're able to take that inhib. It's a pretty seamless early game. When you're able to counter gank the enemy's first 2 ult uses and gain fast objectives while camping a lane and getting a lot of kills yourself, you're in the prime position to win the game from a strong start. Rek'sai is a great champion for this, and I do recommend also going warrior sometimes in these cases, as you certainly can do more with that in solo queue. Especially in lower elos where you want to be able to take up priority targets and objectives quickly. Okay, let's move on to the second game, which is much less smooth. But nonetheless, I do end up with 7 kills again as we enter the mid game, so similar results. I foolishly decide not to smite red at this one, and I lose it to a blitz hook. Pay attention at the start of games and have your team warden check for invades like that. I actually always do, and this is just a minor slip up in one of my games, so make sure you're consistent. In this game, I managed to catch up on my XP and farm because Rengar really didn't punish me for losing that red. Guess what? If my blitzcrank took the enemy's red like that, I'd be waiting at his blue buff to kill him because I'd have the level lead. And even though I built tank intentionally this game because I had to, our team was behind everywhere, and it was important I could sustain and be alive. I still played more aggressively to the point I was 7-1-0 at one point, and that wasn't through any active kill stealing. I didn't intentionally go ahead to try to do that. It was through a reactive and fast moving early game. I just merely countered the advances of the enemy team. This is very different to the measured and more aggressive early game I had before. I managed to catch up, and my first kill comes from a nice flank from behind gank because I have position and vision on the enemy blitz. He had moved up and I had flanked from behind. I ping it to my team and we secure the kill before he can flash away. Most of what I'm doing early game in this is rotating and reacting, whereas with the previous game I was more dictating the pace with proactive ganking, invading and smart counter ganking. You will have games like this, and it's important you as a jungler understand the flow of the game and what you have to do as soon as possible. I grabbed 2 more kills counter ganking mid, and then baiting the blitzcrank to tower dive me at top lane. I really didn't mean to take the kill from Talon, but when I ulted, blitzcrank wasn't as low as when I popped up, so I got the kill. Wasn't intentional even though Talon pings me because, of course, right? So at this point in the game, I'm 3-1-0 and I'm ready to start focusing on pulling this game together for victory. I have the lead, I'm the one that's fed, my laners are losing, it's on me to make the difference. Even though I had a careless death earlier, I have maintained jungler control over the Rengar since then. We have a nice counter gank bot lane as we knew the Rengar was coming. We grab the first tower, we grab a dragon, and after I rotate top to take a tower, following a skirmish between Talon and Tryndamere, we are now in a great position to put the game away using our strong early game, even if it was playing from behind at the beginning. And that's the thing to take away from this. Even though I was moving up to gank, they both killed each other, Talon and Tryndamere, I still push ahead and take the tower. I don't just disappear and go take, my Grump or something. Take objectives when you can and open up the map when you can, especially if your goal is to be fed and get a nice lead before the end game. Let's transition forward a little bit. I love this sequence in mid lane because I move up and go very aggressive. I know I can handle myself, and I know my team has done well so far in not feeding anymore. They're being very reserved and they're not fighting unnecessarily, and I can see they're ready to fight. I finish off the kill on the Rengar started by Anivia's burst, and now it's a 5v3 for us with Talon dead and Lucian splitting bot lane. But through my passive, I see Trynd trying to flank us from behind, and obviously hoping to use an Oriole to finish us off in the fight. I use my Rek'sai ultimate right as I hear Ahri activate hers so I can avoid it. This allows me to kill Trynd, and we win this 3v5. We go back to buy, because remember, gold you have is only as good as when you spend it. If you're gonna get a lot of gold and then stay out too long and die, you actually give them an advantage. Don't stay out too long. Very soon after this, we catch them in their own jungle through a great Bard ultimate and Anivia wall. I clean up with them and we gain valuable towers and steal the enemy jungle. Always do that if you're high enough HP and the Baron is off the table. You're denying them CS, vision, and XP. When you get a good early lead, things like Barons and Elder Drakes aren't going to be on the table for you, so you need to keep gaining an advantage where you can, and denying them is the best way to do that. Through fast, aggressive, skirmishing, objective focus, while stealing enemy jungle farm, we've accumulated a nice gold lead, and from this, we simply rotate up to top and begin the process of sieging inhibitors, taking Barons, and closing out the game methodically. We are sure to rotate and take as much as we can without suiciding and focus on playing the game smoothly. There's no point getting overly cocky and dying at this point, feeding them gold and super many XP for no reason. Never get a really nice early game lead like this and then start tower diving, splitting up, and invading their jungle for no reason. Stay together, do the smart thing, and you will win the game most of the time. Don't do silly things that allow them to get back into it. And I'm gonna make a video about this again because it's happening a lot in even my games, and I'm sure it's happening in many other games where you guys get a huge lead and someone does something stupid in the late game and they come back and win. So make sure you're methodical and try and be the shot caller when you do have a strong early game lead. I hope you were able to learn a few things from these two games. These tips will work in any elo, just make sure you're continuously becoming a more well-rounded jungler who can adapt, and you'll win many more games. Rek'sai is a strong 1v1 jungler who can also do damage, be a tank, peel, and engage. So make sure you're using her strengths and whatever jungler you like to play strengths by having fast starts to games so that you can close them up much sooner using a methodical endgame approach. And with that said, thank you very much for watching. Please tunnel the like button, subscribe if you like these tutorials, comment down below if you have any questions or want to discuss anything, and as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.